You're listening to A Virtual Review, the podcast about a variety of topics, including technology, entertainment, home improvement, staying healthy, and holiday lighting. Welcome, everyone. My name is Kevin.
My name's Matt. You got to do the 3, 2, 1.
Oh, fantastic start for our season finale.
Yeah,
season 1 of our podcast and season 1 of Falcon and Winter Soldier here.
Yep.
So we're going to talk. First of all, we had to take a couple weeks off just because things going on personally and busyness in our own houses. And so we're back. This is going to be our season finale for the podcast and for the show.
It's been crazy. Crazy past couple weeks.
Yes, it has for sure. So this one we're going to talk episode 5 and 6. We're going to start with 5, and that is titled Truth. And man, there was a lot to process in this episode. As I was telling you, man, I took 4 1/4 pages of written notes.
Yeah.
Because and you know what? I was so glad I did, because there's so much that happens in this episode, and even the subtle stuff. It felt like it mattered in this episode, so I kept track of everything.
Yeah, I mean, right when I saw the name of the episode, Truth, I knew that it went back to the Truth comic, and that 6-book run is actually 7 books, but it was in 6 parts. And because that was Isaiah's story, is what this Truth comic is called. Truth, Red, White, and Black. And it was a 6 comic book arc, but it was done in 7 books, which I thought was interesting because there's 6 parts of Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Right.
But I actually I'll put a link in the show notes to the covers of those comics, and I think you can buy them through Marvel there. But I tried to find the trade paperback for this set to read it, and I can't find it. And if it's available, it's like $200. You know what I mean?
Oh, I'm sure.
So you can get the Kindle.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get like the comics
digital
the digital, yeah. The Kindle Comixology copy, but I wanted the actual trade paperback set, and I couldn't find it for under $100, $200 or something like that. So I thought,
wow,
they'll probably come out with it later, right? Maybe they'll reissue it, and
the comic book shops, if they still exist, in the comic book sellers have got to be loving these episodes that come out, because as soon as they air, people start going and searching for these comics that they're they're referenced to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now all of a sudden it spikes the value up, and
yeah, I mean, we could go into this whole Winter Soldier.
It's becoming
thing.
like buying lumber.
Yeah, we could go into that whole rabbit hole with Winter Soldier and the creator of Winter Soldier, and there's a whole story with that. But back to episode 5.
Yeah, so right. So we open to Walker. He's running fast along this building, and he's getting flashbacks of what he just did, killing the Flag Smasher with the shield. Whole crowd of people watching. He's really upset with what he did, and the fact that his right-hand man has died. And Sam and Bucky find him pretty quickly, though, because they see him running and they know what they got to do.
And he seems to have no regret for killing that Flag Smasher.
Well, yeah, because he's got this moment where that moment similar to what he had when he had right after he killed the Flag Smasher. He kind of tilts his head like he's brushing off all the emotions,
right,
and like resetting himself, and he says, "Time to go to work."
Yeah.
I don't know if he says that or that's just his general emotion, but yeah, that's you can tell he'll do something kind of questionable within himself.
Yeah,
and it's like, well, that was it was what it was. I needed to do that action, and well, let's move on.
And he's also saying to himself, "You told me, and why didn't I listen?" And I think that was Battlestar. So he's remembering his conversation with Hoskins at that cafe or whatever, and I think that's what he's referencing to is you told me, and why didn't I listen? Because that power, like we were talking about, that power makes you better,
Yeah.
or it makes you more of who you are, like they said,
Well,
like
it enhances what's inside already,
yeah,
right?
like they said in Cap, um,
Yeah.
the first Cap movie.
If you're good, it makes you gooder.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're bad, it makes you badder.
Yeah. So apparently, well, we have some interesting take on that though with Walker in the end there, but that's later, I guess. Well, we get this big fight, which was a good fight, you know.
Oh, that was so much fun to watch.
Yeah, that was one of the better fights in my opinion. You know, I didn't care for a lot of these fights, but I did like this one.
Yeah, that moment when they're all kind of laying on the ground because they've all kicked each other's ass.
Yeah. You know what it kind of reminded me of? When they were trying to get the gauntlet off of Thanos. It reminded it was like they were trying to get the shield away from Walker. So they literally broke his arm to get the shield off him.
Yeah, right.
But so you like that one?
Yeah. And at one point, his Bucky gets thrown into a pillar, and his arm like short circuits or something, and Bucky's taken out of commission for a little bit, and yeah, and then he wakes up just in time to save Sam because Walker's about to do the same thing with him as he did with the Flag Smashers.
Right.
Was about to
the shield bomb
behead him with the shield.
Yeah. Exactly. Which is which they reverse it too. Bucky gets that opportunity too. He picks up the shield, and you think he's gonna nail Walker, and you're like, he just hangs on to it. So,
well, he does. He kind of doesn't he like throw it to Sam like, here, take it. It's yours now. Yeah, you're gonna take it now, whether you like it or not.
Which was good.
This belongs to you.
Yep.
Yeah.
But and then they get kind of like a break apparently. They kind of splinter off, and Carly's gone. Torres shows up, my boy Torres.
Yeah.
He gets the wings. He gets Falcon's wings. What do you think's gonna happen?
Yeah.
There?
Well, I mean, at first you're assuming that maybe he's going to pass down the torch.
Yeah.
You forgot your. He says, "Oh, you forgot your wings." He says, "No, I didn't."
Yeah.
And it's kind of like is the battalion going to be passed down, and it's a little moment to really make you think. Got to hand it to Marvel. It's another one of those moments where is something that we think might happen going to happen,
right?
Because the smallest
comics,
moment,
right? But I thought he was giving the wings to Torres, and then Sam was gonna just have the shield and no wings. That's what I thought was gonna happen.
Oh, okay.
I thought, wow, they're stripping him of his wings but giving him the shield. This is like what's going to happen. Torres is going to be the Falcon, and Sam's going to be Captain America. But
well, and I think the only way that would have happened is if he was able to take the super soldier serum. But I think it's and of course we can only assume at this point that there really is no more, and so you kind of question how he's going to handle that, right?
Right.
So yeah, he's going to be. You assume he's going to take on the mantle, which I find it so funny that you assume he's kind of taking on the mantle when it's a government appointed. They've made it clear that it's a government appointed position, but he just took it and he's going to go with it himself.
Yeah, that they seem to do that with these iconic objects like the shield and the wings,
right? Yeah,
but yeah, man. And then we get. So, what did you think of this whole Walker getting his getting banned for life.
I loved it because it was so much vindication for what he had done, and he'd grown such a hate for himself from what he did, and there was things that he had done that a lot of people didn't realize because they weren't there for, and it was a little bit of it felt like a little bit of justice for the viewer, and the fact that he basically got stripped of everything, and
Yeah.
it was it brought a smile to my face.
You know what? I kind of had an opposite reaction, man. I felt kind of bad for the guy because he did his duty. They asked him to be Captain America. He tried the best he could, but the power got to his head, and then he took the serum, and it made him go a little nuts. Not really his
Well,
fault either. And so it was like a fall from grace to me almost.
You can't really say it wasn't his fault because he made the decision, because clearly he's done questionable things many times before to get where he was. So it's like it was kind of a glimpse into his past and into what he's done to achieve his success in the military. And it's like, there's probably a lot of other questionable things that happened. So it was like, this may be more deserved than anyone actually realizes.
Yeah.
Instead of giving him, all these medals and stuff for bravery, because he's probably killed a lot of questionable people.
It's possible. Yeah. Well, I guess I'm trying to. I'm really pushing for that fall from grace storyline, and maybe that's not what happened, but because he does go into, did we really deserve those medals? I remember that. Yeah, that's true. So maybe I'm looking for something that's not there, but he does get a little bit of redemption later on. But so Val.
So then he's sitting there, and I think, hey, Elaine is here.
Yeah.
Oh my God, she is hilarious.
She really is.
Yeah.
That was quite a surprise. I didn't know anything about that. I didn't know. I wasn't spoiled on that, so that was good for me.
That was one of the best kept secrets of the series.
Must have been, because nobody I knew about this, and you or I didn't know about it, and
no one even knew there was going to be a cameo. Did we?
No, I mean,
by someone.
Well, I mean, I kept thinking the way that Spellman does things, like we were talking about before. He likes to bring in surprise after surprise after surprise, and this was his last big surprise was Julie Louis-Dreyfus, which was, I mean, to me it was great. I didn't know about this character in the comics before.
Yeah, I didn't either.
She has quite a history.
I had to wiki her, like you had suggested,
right.
And it was like it was like when I didn't know about Madripoor a little personally, and I Googled her name, and it was like, things come up. It's like, well, okay, wow.
Well, the interesting thing there is there's so many different storylines. Which one are they going to pick? It seems like, I guess at this point in time, you don't know what she's all about, right? She gives them this blank card, which I thought was pretty cool. It's like, man, that's legit. That's almost like Prince. This is my name. It's a symbol. Right. I don't even have a name. But yeah, that was pretty cool.
All right, it's when we
more.
call,
hoping to see more from
answer.
Her. Mm-hmm. Yeah, right.
When we call, you better answer.
Right.
So then we go back to the GRC camp in Latvia, and Carly walks out with some of her posse, starts listing off the people that all died under the cause, and starts to question things a little bit, and asks how many more have to die, and before they're citizens of the planet. and says, "All right, it's time. Let's move on out."
Yeah, I mean, at this point in time for me, this was the point in time where I'm getting sick of Carly. I'm sick of her. I'm sick of the Flag Smashers, and it's getting um very one note to me. It's getting very old, and
Yeah,
this is at this point to me, man. They were kind of losing me as the Flag Smashers in general as a villain. They weren't really. They kind of lost me about right here. But yeah, then the monument.
yeah. We get to Sokovia and see the memorial site.
Yeah, and Zemo, the first thing he says, "Don't worry, I've decided I'm not going to kill you."
Right.
As Bucky's got a gun on him, and
Right.
you're like, "Wow,
Yeah.
let me think about that for a while." And then at the end of the series, you're like, "Wow, he maybe could have done that." you know, with what happened at the
Yeah.
end there.
Yeah, for
You
real.
know,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, it was a little bit of a yeah. Yeah, we'll get to that. Um, yeah, the and Bucky had the bullets in his hand and
mm-hmm.
dropped them down the ground, and that was like the caw
Right.
to let the Dormelage come
Yep.
get Zemo, and Zemo's on his way to the
He
raft,
is. Yeah. And he needs a favor
and then
also.
yeah, Bucky, hey, I got a favor to ask.
Yeah, which at the
And I said,
time
oh,
I wasn't
oh,
sure honestly what he was asking for. I didn't know. I'm like, what could he be asking for? I don't know.
well, yeah. I mean, no one really knows
Yeah.
what the favor is,
Yeah.
but it's one of those things that you assume that well, we'll find out with soon.
Yeah. Right. But we get moving on to Sam and Isaiah.
Yeah,
Only thing, I mean, this is pretty deep conversation here, but one thing I wanted to pull out of this was, we both love movies, right? I mean, so
yes.
have you seen Red Tails, the movie?
Red Tails?
Yeah.
No.
He brings up the Red Tails, which was a real fighter wing in World War II, and
Okay.
it's an all African American, the Tuskegee Airmen, and they were called Red Tails, and there was a movie called Red Tails. And the reason I bring it up is because of the Marvel crossover here. You get Terrence Howard, who is in it. He kind of runs the whole squadron. Who was in Iron Man
Okay.
1? He was the first roadie.
Right.
And then you got Michael B. Jordan, who was Killmonger, and he was Johnny Storm in the newer Fantastic Four, the
Right.
bad one. And so he was in it too. So that was kind of cool. He brings up Red Tails. I remember seeing Red Tails because it was an ILM did all the CGI and all that, and it was a
Yeah.
decent movie. It was a good movie. I would check it out.
Okay.
But it was kind of a cool crossover there with all those different Marvel characters.
No, yeah, we well, we find out some more details about what Isaiah went through and basically how the government's not good and treated him really badly and just
Yeah,
a
he's bitter.
bad deal for him and
Yeah.
and told him no black man's ever going to become Captain America, and even if they had the chance, why would you want to
Right.
stand behind what they did to people? And I mean, you got to feel for him. He's been through a lot,
Yeah.
just because of who he is and what he looks like, and
I mean, he says no self-respecting black man would ever want to be Captain America. So he's telling that to Sam, who
right,
has been already given the mantle, and
yeah,
but you could tell that Sam is of course, in the story world, Sam is a critical thinker. He's trying to do the right thing for because he sees that Isaiah is jaded, and of course, and
yeah,
rightly so, and he's trying to do he's, man, what a position to be in, you know.
Right. Well, yeah, because I mean, you want to make the right decision for your own self, but and you
Mm-hmm.
got someone that's gone through it, that is completely relatable, and um, you want to listen to him and to take his input, but that's
Yeah.
yeah, like you said, it's a very difficult position to be in.
Yeah, it's like a mentor
You
of yours that you respect saying, "Don't do this." You know,
Right.
how do you,
Yeah.
you, you know?
Yeah.
But
So that, but and then we go back to Louisiana,
right.
and that talk with his sister. That
Mm-hmm.
was really, I love that talk that they had of because Sam kind of feels guilty for not being around as much as he feels like he should have been.
Right.
And she says, don't it's not on you. You were off doing, really courageous things, and the state here is what it was, and that's not on you.
Yeah.
And if you're questioning being Captain America because of what Isaiah said, are you really going to let him influence your thoughts?
Right.
Be yourself and do it for your own reasons.
Right. Right.
And it was very much of a validating moment for him,
Mm-hmm.
that yeah, he's got input, but take it with how you want, and
Right.
do what's right for yourself,
Because
and
it's an
what's right for
opportunity. Yeah. It's an opportunity
right.
for him to rise up and, you know, be a hero.
Make it better, and
Yeah.
right, make it better,
Because
and,
you see
and
his
be
kids.
yeah.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
You see his nephews playing with wanting to play with the shield. They're playing Captain America.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? They want to be
right,
Captain America. These kids, they don't see Isaiah's jaded view either. You see
right.
these kids who is their African American kids. All they see is a hero. You know what I mean? They don't see
Yeah,
this other stuff. You know.
right. Well, it's like when you see kids playing, completely unrelated to
Exactly.
this, kids of different color playing together, because
Yeah.
like they don't know any different,
No.
and
No.
and it's like, hey, you're fun to play with.
Right.
you
I
know
mean,
it's just the way it should be.
exactly. Exactly. It's a great way to live.
Yes, absolutely.
But
uh
I
I did
these were
go.
these moments with the boat and his sister, and I realize there's some kind of metaphor going on here with them. Sam wanting to fix the boat is also a metaphor for something. Like I'm trying to really find out what they're trying to to show us here.
Okay.
I think there's something going on with Sam struggling to fix the boat, and is a metaphor for either repairing of the country or repairing of um, himself, or
Maybe
or
trying to find his place in
trying
what
to
in the path that he needs, and so
yes,
fixing the boat is helping him figure out
yeah,
what he needs to do.
because there's something
Yeah.
there. I can't quite put my finger on it, but I get this feeling that there's something with this book, because I get uh, a lot of feels, I guess, around these these moments with his sister and trying to fix this family boat and save this family business.
Yes.
These were kind of one of my favorite parts, I guess.
Yeah.
So I think there's something there. I just can't put it into words, and maybe I'm not supposed to. I don't know, but
Uh,
dude, you've seen Pulp Fiction, right?
Yeah, a while ago, quite a while
I mean,
ago. But yeah.
they're delivering this suitcase.
Oh yeah.
John Travolta and Samuel L. Jackson, they're delivering this suitcase. I got the same feeling. What's in that suitcase? What is in that suitcase? I know.
Right. What's in the box?
Yeah, what's in the box? I'm like, are they going to show us what's in? And I had all these crazy predictions for what the suit was going to look like.
Yeah.
and I was really hoping. I knew it was a suit, right? Of course, but I kept hoping for, like uh, Bucky's arm, how it's black and gold.
Oh,
I had
okay.
this I
Yeah.
had this weird idea that maybe they're gonna be like a strong Black Panther influence, right? Because
Okay.
Shuri's making this stuff,
Yeah.
and I thought there's got to be some kind of cool like maybe there'll be like a neat like marbling like the Black Panther's suit or some kind of like
Yeah.
hint, and
Yeah.
but
Some trace back to Wakanda.
it was right it wasn't right. I mean we don't get to see that, but uh,
Right.
you know
I did notice the a very nice product placement in this location.
which one?
D- well, there's a point where Sam and Bucky are kind of relaxing after a hard day's work on the boat, and it's a nice Heineken
Oh,
product
the
placement.
Heineken. Yeah, that was. I remember that one. Yeah,
Like and you could tell they always made sure that when they were tipping
right.
it up, the label faced the camera.
Yeah, it's a good time for a Dutch beer, apparently.
Yeah, right.
Moving on to Walker,
Yeah, yeah.
he like straight up lies to his parents.
Well, of course. And see, this further makes me not feel bad for him being stripped of everything.
Yeah, yeah, you're right.
Because it's like the dude does whatever he has to do to feel better about himself and to get to get what he needs.
That's
so
a good point. That's a good
I
point. Either that or, I mean, I forget the exact words that he used, but
yeah I don't
I don't know if he was
either.
trying to
He just-
comfort his friend's parents, like telling him what they wanted to hear, but he straight up lied, man.
well, yeah, because I asked him, did you kill who killed Lamar? Yes, I did.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
Not, no, you didn't.
no, he didn't.
No. But I honestly, man, when that happened, I was like, you know what? I miss Lamar. Like, I wish we would have gotten a little bit more of
Yeah.
Walker and Lamar. I know it's not their story,
Yeah,
but we'll never know more about that character. You know what I mean? I
right.
kind of wish they wouldn't have killed him off.
Lamar almost seemed cooler than Walker was.
He did, man. It's like he was the one giving all the good advice.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, look, you got to do this. No, screw that. Look, you got to do it. No. It's like,
right.
but yeah, it was. I'm thinking of War Machine. Remember when War Machine got hit in Civil War?
Yeah.
I'm thinking they could have done something like that.
Oh.
You didn't have to kill a guy off. I didn't think. I think you could have just really hurt him bad. That way, you could have brought him back.
Yeah.
But I guess you can't move on with his next character
Right.
level. But that's too bad.
Yeah. So then Sharon is on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
And offers. I didn't pick this up at first. It took me a little bit, but she offers Batroc
Mm-hmm.
double the money to do this task, whatever
Right.
help out
The
someone.
Flag Smashers.
Right. And she says, "Oh, if you would have still been in prison if it wasn't for me, and
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you double this time."
Mm-hmm.
It was just a real quick scene.
Yeah, but it was an interesting link to A, bring back Batroc, and then B, it's just leaning more toward Sharon being this power broker.
And after that, it was like, okay, she totally is.
Yeah.
I didn't. I was trying to keep my suspicions even keeled, just because I had so many suspicions for. Again, I had so many suspicions for WandaVision
Mm-hmm.
that didn't pan out, and I was a little bitter about it. But it was my own fault.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, no, I'm not going to assume anything. But after that, it was okay. Come on, it's kind of making it obvious that she is the power broker.
Well, you got to do these things though, because if all of a sudden at the end she's power broker, it's like, oh,
Right.
if you don't drop these little breadcrumbs,
Right.
it's bad. It's going to be bad. You know what I mean?
But
It's going to be
see,
cheesy. But if you
But see,
drop,
Marvel's smart because they did all these things for WandaVision that didn't pan out. So then you're watching Falcon and Winter Soldier thinking, oh, that was a little Easter egg, but no, it's probably not going to pan out. Oh, it did pan out.
right? Yeah, I mean,
So it keeps you on your toes, really.
the good way to do it, from what I've been told, the good way to do a twist is to drop these little breadcrumbs along the way
Yeah,
that make you think maybe it's possible. It gets closer and closer, and then at the end, it's the reveal, and that way you're not like shocked and disappointed. You're
yeah,
kind of like, I kind of knew it, and then you're still surprised and happy about it, But anyways, regardless,
yeah.
we get that training scene that
Yes.
we kind of saw in the trailers,
Yeah.
and then
I almost suspected it was as a flashback or something. But no,
Yeah.
that's he's training to be able to handle a shield for real.
which I kind of like we were talking about before. I kind of wish they wouldn't have shown that in the trailer. You know what I mean? But they,
Yeah.
just because it kind of gave everything away because you knew he was getting the shield, but still, it was still some cool wisdom that Sam gave out to Bucky.
To Bucky, yeah.
You know,
Well, it tells him if you want to get over the nightmares, stop apologizing and help people. Because if you help people, you're bettering them instead of just apologizing for yourself.
yeah, I mean, he's getting wise, just like we were saying the last up. He's getting wise, just like Steve was.
Yeah.
Just
Yep.
telling it how it is and bringing that wisdom.
Yes.
But I
And I guess, yeah.
I love the training montage.
Yeah.
And that was great. But it got me.
And did you notice that he always that the way the camera was positioned whenever he ran, that he was always on the there was always space on his left.
I did not know. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that I saw that somewhere, and that they always showed with the camera position, they had him, in the frame. They had him on the left left side of the frame, so that on his left
There's
was
gap
open
for Steve. Great.
Yeah, it was like, oh, all right,
I love
nice.
That's a cool nod.
Yes.
That's a cool nod.
Yeah.
But I got this thought where, how I understand they're trying to get rid of Steve. They're saying,
Yes.
Steve's gone. Like, if there's anybody that Bucky would relate to, it would be Steve.
Yeah.
And why isn't Bucky hanging out with Steve? I just what I thought of him, like, he's got no one to talk to.
Well,
And
I think from what I understand is I think the way they wrote the story or I guess the intentions behind the story is when Steve gave the shield to Sam, Steve went back to his other timeline.
oh, really? Is
Yeah.
that what happened?
I think I'm pretty sure I read that somewhere.
Okay.
So that he doesn't exist in that timeline anymore.
Oh, really? I didn't put that together. I mean,
because
they didn't show that in the movie.
Otherwise, why wouldn't he be around giving advice on things and talking to Sam and talking to Bucky and helping them through? Because, I was assuming that we were going to see him at some point, be old Steve, but I swear I read that somewhere from the Russo brothers that basically the back end of the story is that after he gives the shield to Sam, he time travel or he goes he travels one more time back to his timeline.
Okay, I must have missed
timeline
that.
that he's been living.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I had this funny thought that like he's actually on the moon in some kind of shield base. I, like like in Captain America 4, there's gonna be this shield base alpha on the moon, and Captain America will be there with 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 Samuel with Fury. You know, like I had this funny scene in my head. Like, oh, that would be kind of funny. You know, till he was
Hey,
literally
never
on
say
the
never,
moon.
I guess.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, I digress.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess moving on.
Yeah.
Batroc gives that case of weapons to Carly, and he says,
And you're starting to wonder why Sharon is hoping her her friends be possibly injured.
"Yeah, it's like I didn't understand that. That was kind of strange to me, but um,
Yeah.
at this point in time, like I said, it was in this episode where the Flag Smashers kind of lost me, so I just kind of had to
Yeah.
go with it. They they activate their app, right, and
Right.
they
Yeah. Everyone in the park
yeah,
is
because there's a
is a
meetup.
follower.
Yeah, there's
Right.
a meetup going on.
Yeah.
Sam opens up the case. And
Yeah.
I was hoping for some kind of influence of the Black Panthers, um, but then
we didn't see what was in it
no, we
at
didn't.
that point either.
But I was going to ask
Yeah.
you at the time. I was going to ask you what your prediction was. But I ended up I ended up finding like a toy, an action figure, and they kept saying, "This is the Captain America action figure of Sam," and so they kind of spoiled it with this action figure.
I saw that it was like yeah, it was right after that someone had released the picture of the action figure.
Mhm, yeah,
And,
I'm like, well,
and I guess
there's a spoiler.
that's the way it, well, I guess that's kind of that seems to be the way that they tend to spoil certain things as they put out the action
Oh,
figure
yeah.
toys and
Yep.
well, because that was similar to how we saw the Endgame suits
with Iron
that were
Man.
white.
Yeah, and Hulk,
Yeah,
because we saw Hulk wearing that.
but I don't know.
glove.
I assumed, I guess I assumed it was going to be like some Wakanda version of serum in that briefcase. I thought it might have been the serum,
Oh, interesting.
not just a suit.
Yeah,
That's what I mean. That's what I had thought.
yeah.
Because I thought, okay, he's kind of changed his mind on things, and they got him the serum, and he's that's what he's going to take, and
Yeah. I thought
because he gave up the wings,
right. See, that's what I thought. I thought it was going to be like a Black Panther style suit, kind of like but like one of Cap's suits, maybe like a
Okay.
stealth suit, and no wings.
Yeah.
And
Right.
I didn't think he was going to have wings, honestly, and because like I said, I thought he would have stripped them off, and then he got the shield. But I'm glad they did what
Yeah.
they did. So.
Yeah.
And that post-credit scene, though, it was like that looked like me making a shield in my garage.
I know. It's like, oh my god, that's gonna last a long time.
Yeah, I was like, man.
Him just hand welding this metal together and
Yeah,
taking the
the MIG welder.
the pins that he's gotten and putting it on there.
His
and,
Medal of
yeah.
Honor. Yeah, he
Yeah.
he welded his Medal of Honor to there. I thought that was kind of cool. Honestly, it was like a literal remember what I've done in the past or whatever. But
Yeah.
I actually thought that was kind of cool. But I think it was kind of neat. He went vigilante, and because he's gonna be this U.S. agent, because that's what happens. So you're like, what's gonna happen? But I didn't know that he was going to make his own shield. You know what I mean? But Yeah, man. He really wanted to be Captain
Yeah.
America. So he
Well,
just
it
he cosplayed
didn't really
it
last
up.
too long.
No, it didn't, but
Yeah.
it got the point across.
Yeah. Yeah.
But um,
So yeah, that was it for episode 5,
yeah, man.
and that was a lot to digest.
It was.
Um,
It was a
yeah.
lot more, actually, I thought, than the finale. Because the finale,
Yeah.
episode 6, One World, One People, it was like a big fight scene, man. Like, the
Yeah.
whole thing was a
Yeah.
fight scene, which, y- it was, to me, it was kind of wild.
Yeah, it was a little bit kind of all over the place, but
Yeah. Which was kind of neat, but at the same time, a bit chaotic. I did get
yeah.
some highlights. Bucky, there in the beginning, he asked Sam if he's got a plan, which in the first episode, Steve has a plan. That's why I
Right.
like Steve. Steve has a plan. You don't have a plan. You know what I
Right.
mean? Now this time he's got a plan. So
Yeah.
he tells him the plan, which is kind of cool. So you can see that Sam is really taking on that mantle of
Yeah,
Captain
he's
America.
taking it seriously, and he's a little bit more prepared,
Yeah.
and because he's going to be, well, obviously, he's going to be a little bit more visible to everyone, and
Very. Yeah.
his actions are going to be noted, and
Yeah.
he's got to take charge, and yeah.
Sharon shows up, and she's wearing one of those masks like that Natasha wears when she disguised herself. When she disguised herself as one of the board members.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Dude,
Yep.
I found this on a video. Like, I was listening to one of those videos, and somebody brought that up. It's like, oh yeah, you're right. She had that mask and she pulled it off, and it was the same
Yeah.
kind of mask. I was like, that's kind of cool. So how did she get that shield tech? Maybe she
Yeah.
brought that shield tech with her or something,
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah. And then Bucky says, "Aren't you a little bit, worried that somebody's going to see you? Nobody's looking for me here."
right. And I did note this. The first thing I thought of when the Flag Smashers throw those gas grenades, it looked like those pumpkin grenades that the Green Goblin always uses.
Yeah.
Or they look like pumpkins, and it looked just like one of the Green Goblin pumpkin grenades. I don't know if there's anything there, but that was kind of cool. I was like, I don't
Okay.
know if there's any kind of connection there, but it was an interesting choice because it was
Yeah.
pretty apparent, but because they could have went with any color grenade, and they chose to make it look like a goblin grenade. So I'm
Right.
like, okay.
Yeah.
And then we get the suit. We finally do get to see
Yeah.
the suit.
New Captain America comes flying into the building, and
Yeah.
with his wings and all, and shield.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He had the
Yeah.
shield and everything. I was like, okay, that's how we're gonna roll. And
Yeah.
I liked it. I was hoping, like I said, I was hoping for a little bit more Black Panther influence, but no,
Yeah.
it was
It's got a
still
lot of
cool.
weight in it.
It does,
Yeah.
which I didn't realize at the time, but apparently I watched that assembled episode.
Yeah.
His material around his neck was like bunching up, like around his
Yeah.
neck, and
Yeah.
so they CGI'd the material around his neck to form fit around his neck. I was like,
my
oh
God.
man, I wish I would have
Well,
known that.
it looked a little awkward and weird, and like, I don't know, it just
Yeah,
seemed like an unnecessary part of the costume.
I know that part of the costume is from the comics, but because his whole mask kind of comes up from his shoulders and comes up kind of like it's like one piece, kind of like they did it in this episode, but
Yeah.
uh, it was kind of weird that they had the CGI that. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's a lot of work, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But whatever. But I ended up liking the outfit. You know,
Yeah.
my favorite is still Sam's first appearance. He's just wearing his T-shirt and a pair of jeans, and he's got the flight suit on. I'm
The
like
backpack.
the backpack.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's still my favorite version of Sam, but
Yeah.
I just like that that just drop in, boom, throw on my suit, and then I go. I thought that was, that's kind of my favorite, but that
Yeah.
was pre-Red Wing too. So, but so, what'd you think of the suit?
Yeah. It was. Well, it was a lot more white than I thought it might be. Um. The neck thing was kind of weird, but I know that's from, like you said, it's from the comics. I mean, all in all, of course, it's cool, but
Yeah. Well, he got his his Red Wing buddy back,
right.
and they can do some cool things. They help out
Yeah.
with this whole crazy fight and
Yeah.
identifying, people and rocketing, falling trucks, and they can do many more things than they could even
Yeah.
before. So, but I'm assuming it's all vibranium. The wings are vibranium.
Yeah,
I'm
I would
assuming.
assume so. Also, yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
which would be a nice upgrade for them. I
Heck
mean,
yeah.
that way they can't really be, other than I don't know if vibranium can damage other vibranium, but
I don't think so, but
yeah, they should be a little bit more durable this time.
yeah. I mean, it stopped that helicopter.
Right.
When the helicopter came at him, they did like that little
Yeah.
shield thing, like
the cocoon
take
thing,
cover,
or
yeah,
like
cocoon.
the bird
Yeah,
covering the itself. Yeah, that was really cool.
But I know there's a lot of things we could cover on this fight. Was there anything that really stood out? I mean, to me, it was more. Um, a lot of things that I didn't care for the Flag Smashers, but it was more about you had Walker come back. He had a choice of going after Carly, the person who really killed Lamar, or saving the a-holes that gave him that banned him for life, right? So he had a choice of saving these guys that banned him or getting Carly, and he chose the higher ground.
Yeah.
So
some of his actions were a little surprising in this episode.
yeah, which to me kind of redeemed him a little bit in my eyes. I thought he kind of had a come to Jesus, I guess, with his situation and what does Captain America really mean, and
Yeah.
but now he's got his own identity. So
right.
But anything else? I mean, it looks like. Well, I guess we get. I guess we get the reveal of Power Broker.
Well,
sure.
the next thing is we Sharon is revealed as the power broker.
Yeah.
And kills Carly.
Yeah. Yeah. Which I don't know why she again. She just has a gun on Carly in the first place, and then she puts up her hands after. I was like, that's kind of strange, but okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so in the end, there, she shoots Carly to save Sam.
Yeah.
But
she clearly has some mixed intentions there.
Who's that? Sharon?
Yeah, Sharon.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's she's got a lot of things cooking in the in the pot
Right.
with everything she's got going on, and she's got mixed interests and um, wants to be involved with certain things and
Right.
still be selling other things, and um, yeah, interesting position.
Yeah. She also shoots Batroc, and Batroc looks pretty dead, man. You think we're gonna see Batroc again?
I don't know. Well, yeah, I mean, she shoots him because she says, "Oh," because he said, "Well, you're going to pay me triple this time, or else I'm going to tell everyone you're the power broker."
That's right.
Oh,
Yeah.
I got a better solution. I'm just going to kill you.
Right. Yeah, that was an easy easy way out of that situation.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, unless, I mean, I guess you never say never with some of this stuff, but
Mm-hmm.
we'll no, we didn't really anticipate seeing him in this series either. So
No.
we'll see. We'll see what
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens in Captain America 4.
Right. Yeah. Which it looks like Marcus Spellman's gonna write that as
Yeah,
well.
he's gonna write. Yep.
So that's a good transition for him.
Yeah, and we get to the scene of Zemo's butler bombing the truckload of super
Yeah.
soldiers, and
I-
it's so stupid because I was like, I couldn't remember who that guy was.
Oh, really?
Like, oh yeah, okay, he was
Yeah.
the butler on the plane.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that was, and then we see a little shot of Zemo, and he looks into the camera. He breaks that fourth wall. Is like, it was me.
Yeah.
How'd you guys like that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just before
Yeah.
that, you get that monologue from Sam though, when he's trying to explain
Oh yes,
those
yes.
motivations to the
Yeah,
GIC. That got pretty heavy, man.
that was real heavy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I usually I don't like when a show gets political. That's not a political show. It was just enough political to really get his point across and to kind of show the bigger picture of what's going on in the world.
Yeah.
And it was really well done, I thought.
Yeah, it sounded like it to me. I watched that assembled, right? And
Yeah.
Marcus Spellman was on there. He said he talked to Sam or Mackie on the phone. I know. So he talked to Mac.
Sam exists.
Yeah, right. No. So he's talking to Mackie, and he said he talked to him for hours about this monologue, and it sounds like they came to an understanding about what they wanted to say. So
Yeah.
it sounded like they were all the whole time they were trying to this theme of how an African American can take up the shield, which to most people you're like, dude, just take it. Cap wanted you to take it, but then they're trying to explain this whole time what it's like for an African American to be the face of America like that.
Right.
So they worked really hard to explain all that, you know.
Yeah, and it seemed pretty evident that there was a lot of thought that went into that that speech, and yeah, I thought it was really well written. It conveyed a lot, on multiple levels of not just Marvel but other things, and yeah.
And, this isn't the first time Marvel's done the political thing, especially in the comics. DC really doesn't touch too much on issues. Where Marvel kind of delves more into things like that.
Yeah.
Stan always took a stance on that stuff, and
right.
Where DC really hasn't done it too much in the past, but especially in the World War II
Yeah.
era there.
Yep.
But yeah, man, moving on to these final moments. Val's with Walker,
Right.
and he becomes U.S. agent, and
Yeah.
this dude's pumped, and you can tell this is going to be some kind of a branch off, right? A spin-off
Oh, absolutely.
of
Yeah.
some kind of show, whether it's some kind of group like Shield that that's kind of in the background. I'm thinking kind of like a Suicide Squad
Right.
type thing, like a team of villains.
Yeah.
You know, I know
Yeah.
they've mentioned these other Dark Avengers, Thunderbolts, stuff like that, but
Yeah.
I really don't know what they're going to do. But it sounds like they're going to build up this little team of bad guys to do
Yeah.
good things.
And I'm willing to bet that they have plans for, especially depending on the the popularity and demand of episodes and characters,
Mm-hmm.
that they have plan that, because maybe a year or so ago or somewhere in last year, they Marvel revealed everything that they were coming out with,
Mm-hmm.
and all of a sudden they're adding to that with Captain America 4, and I'm willing to bet that they maybe have a plan for this other area with U.S. Agent and Val
Yeah.
and these people, that they just they're like, well, let's let Falcon and Winter Soldier air,
Yeah.
see how it's received, and then depending on how that's received, we can go forward with this other this other this other tree, and
Right. Right.
yeah, so we'll see. I mean, that would be, I would certainly be interested in that.
Yeah, dude.
As long as
More
as long as they
Marvel.
don't let the people, well, as long as they don't let the people that are writing X-Men.
Yeah, those guys are gone. Yeah, those guys are gone.
Or at
Yeah.
least needs to be the original writers for the X-Men movies.
Yeah. At least the first
Anyway.
two.
Yeah.
But to bring it,
anyways.
I guess to circle back,
Yeah.
we get Bucky. He tells Yori about his son.
Right.
So we get some
Yeah.
closure,
Some closure there.
Yeah, right. And then Sam takes Isaiah to the Smithsonian, where they've got this
Yeah.
sweet little exhibit for Isaiah now, so that
Yeah.
his journey and his sacrifice is not forgotten.
Yeah. Dude, I got super emotional for that too, because it was so much vindication for him, and making things right, and righting the wrong, and well, I guess anyway you want to say it, but yeah, it was really, I don't know, it was very touching how they did it, and they paid tribute to the man, and
Right.
yeah.
I mean, what a gift, you know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
especially him being so jaded,
Right.
and then Sam is just making all this stuff happen, then he makes this in particular happen, and it's almost like, you didn't want me to be Captain America, but now I am, and look what I can do. You know what I
Right.
mean? I can do
Right.
these are the
I
things
can
that
do
I can do.
the right things.
Right.
Yeah.
Literally.
Right.
But
Yeah.
then, again, we go back to one of my favorite parts of this whole series is back with the family, Sam's family, back at the
Yeah.
boat, and
Yeah.
they're having this huge barbecue, and it was just a feel good moment,
Yes. It cracks me up when Bucky flirts with Sam's sister.
Oh God, I was dying, and just Sam gives him that eye, like side eye, like what, don't no.
Stop flirting with my sister.
Yeah, you never. Yeah, that's a no, and he's doing it on purpose.
Oh yeah, of course.
But
Yeah, that great. Yeah, that was a great thing to show that he's still grounded, and goes back home and with the family, and taking pictures and all
Yeah,
that stuff, and yeah,
and Bucky, you see that Bucky is he's gone from having no contact with anyone
right.
to developing this really great
Just sort of,
relationship.
yeah,
More
sort of having a family.
You got it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
He's one of the family, but that was
yeah,
great. Just that whole time with Bucky and Sam fixing the boat was just awesome. I just thought there was
yes,
more of that, uh, which kind of brings. Well, I guess not yet, but we get that post-credit scene with Sharon,
yeah,
and she gets pardoned, like Sam promised.
right. And then the smirk of her walking out of the court, it's like, oh, gets on the phone. Let the buyers know to get ready. We're about to have access to all kinds of fun things.
Yeah,
We are. I think she said we got something for everyone.
right,
Well,
right.
we're going to have something for everyone.
Mm-hmm. Which I don't know how I feel about that because I was always, I just thought Sharon was one of the good guys. And
Aunt Peggy would be disappointed.
very, I mean, no, that's what's really sad about it is you got this hero of Peggy Carter who literally is one of the founding members of Shield. Her
Yeah,
kid ends up, you know what I mean, being this. I don't, I don't know if I. Yeah, I mean, you gotta call her a villain because she's. If you're selling secrets to the bad guys,
yeah. She's a straight up villain.
Yeah.
She's become a villain.
she has.
Yeah,
In my eyes
yeah,
too. So it's like,
yeah,
man, what a kick in the nuts. To me, it's like, oh man, is that out of character? Was that something that Sharon would really do? I I just don't know if she would really do that. But I guess those 5 years were rough on Sharon.
yeah.
I guess
Right.
whatever. I would think that she would
Yeah.
be more like a Natasha trying to just battle and like I would think that she would have tried to do the right thing, like you said before, and not just survive and turn to the dark side, I guess.
Right.
But
No, yeah, that's
you
a good
know,
way. That's a good way to describe it. Yeah, yeah. That like she'd be turning a corner, but clearly she's not. She's gonna be selling all kinds of things to the to bad people, and
yeah,
um, I mean we assume that who knows what what Marvel has planned for her
yeah,
and what's going on, and it as Val said, things are about to get weird.
yeah, you got it. Things are about to get weird.
So
Oh,
we'll see.
so funny.
Yeah.
So, closing thoughts, man. This is where we end our show. What do you think? Pros, cons. What are your thoughts? We'll go with the pros first.
Uh,
What are your favorite parts?
Favorite parts. Definitely the time the times with as you said with Bucky and Sam on the boat,
Mm,
and that friendship growing, and
that really gave depth to Sam's character. You know.
yeah, yeah, and Bucky trying to work through his own agenda, and help himself be better, and live a little happier, and
Yeah.
um yeah, and aside from that, the probably the training that Sam is doing to try to get himself into the best shape possible, because he knows he doesn't have the serum in him.
Oh, right. The
So
training scenes, training montages.
yeah, and I probably I think my favorite part of the whole thing is that um the Smithsonian statue
Mm,
dedicated to Isaiah. That was,
Yeah.
I think that was just an absolute great touch to the to the season, and yeah, it shows that you can maybe not necessarily right a wrong, but you can at least pay respects for the past.
That's man. I wish we could end it right there because that's just a great statement.
You're welcome.
Dang, I wish we could just stop right now and just call it. But I gotta bring out my comic book nerdness here
Okay.
with my pros.
Okay. Go for it.
I wish I could have done something as awesome as that. But I my like short list is the CGI was great.
Yes.
It was on par with a movie, the Marvel movies. The cast overall fantastic. The backstory with Sam and Bucky, Zemo, um, fleshing out Zemo's character, diving not only into Sam and Bucky, but also Zemo was great. I think he's turning into he. I bet you if you would have kept Zemo in the series, he would have stolen the series. I think there was a smart move of these guys to pull him out in episode
Mm-hmm.
5 because he would have just taken over this whole. It would have been the Zemo show and not
Yeah.
Falcon Winter Soldier. So I think it was smart on their part to. To me he was just a little bit too good, and that's one of these things you got to be careful with a villain is if they may take over your show, and this dude would have just taken right over. He was just that good to me, and
Yeah.
I think that was smart of them to pull him out. But um, I I'm really glad they brought in the Wakandans. Io, she was amazing in the little part that she did,
Yeah.
especially
Mm-hmm.
when she removed Bucky's arm. And just those
Yeah.
conversations there, I think the Wakandans were one of my favorite parts. Um, and then, like we both said, Sam fixing the boat, all those
Yep.
scenes, the barbecue, all that. Um, those just had a lot of heart. I think that was their strong suit was bringing the heart and the depth to the characters. But
Yeah.
what about cons, man? Anything negative? Or do you want to stick with the positive?
We'll just stick with the positive, because the only cons that I have is stuff with how they battled, and but if they would have battled differently, the series would have been done in an episode. So, um,
Yeah.
so yeah, we'll just stick with the pros.
I for me, I wasn't a big fan of Flag Smashers. I think they were kind of weak overall. That's just me. I don't know if it was just Carly. I don't know if it was because they were such a small little group. Um, I didn't get that they were very dangerous, and
Yeah.
um, that's just me. But overall, man, just everything that they brought, the fun stuff that they brought, really outweighed the negative to me.
Yes.
Madripoor,
Yep.
um, the heart, even the power broker, that was cool too. The little mystery there of who is the power broker,
Yes.
that was fun.
Right.
And bringing in Julia Louise Dreyfus, that was cool too. I mean, far outweighed all that stuff. Far outweighed the negatives in my mind. But
Right.
that's all I
Yep.
got,
Me
man.
too. Yeah. Me too. Yeah.
Uh,
Thoroughly enjoyed it as usual.
yeah,
And
we
yeah.
need more.
Yes. Yeah. So that's that's all I've got. How about you?
That's all I've got, man. We're
All
gonna
right.
take our little our
Yeah.
break.
we're going to be taking a break for probably the summer. We've got a lot of projects to do around the house and a lot of things going on. I've got lights to work on, but we'll when we come back we'll have lots of things to talk about, including my new show and lots of Marvel stuff to talk about. And we'll get back to it.
Absolutely.
So thanks for listening for this season, and we'll talk to you soon. This has been a virtual review.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for listening.
You've been listening to a virtual review. If you have questions or comments on the podcast, post them on our Facebook or Instagram page at the links below. If you like what you heard, please like, follow, subscribe, and share.